who am I? And try to find the answer. It's a very fascinating question because every answer that we get is going to be conceptual, always. All answers that come up as a thought, an idea, an image, they're all going to be short-lived, and yet they do not compare with the experience of being. What we call I is being or self. And so it's the only thing that we cannot fully describe. And everything is centered around me. So when we cut through with this question to ourselves, what we find is that what I am, which is where everything is, feels calm, feels peaceful. And that's what you begin to see as, oh, the source of peace is not really something outside of me. It's myself. And the mind is failing because every single concept, idea, label, name that comes up, it's not satisfactory. So the mind, even in this process, that's how we make it fail quickly. We just ask it, who are you? And all answers are going to be unfulfilling, always. You'll never be able to satisfy this. And so this is how we submerge the mind into nothingness, which is the nature of our being. And it doesn't matter how many times it comes up again. We know that that's not the answer. And we sink deeper and deeper into the state of simply being. So that's how we make the mind fail in this process of self-inquiry. And the result is just pure knowing, more wisdom, and a deeper sense of relationship with the world. So I won't go into more details there because I'm expanding too much, but that's how it looks like.
No, but I love that. It was really deep and I think useful for a lot of people on this journey. Sabrina, thank you for tuning in. Also, if you're watching, I don't know why you guys are always so shy. You can comment, you can ask questions, show some love, share with someone who might need this. But I want to give a shout out to Sabrina for dropping a comment. So thank you for that and for always being amazing and loving and supportive, and also being very full of light. So I love that. And I'm glad you were able to catch me live today. So I know that you will love this topic and Gabriel and everything that he's doing. And so I'm really glad you're here. It obviously was meant to be, is my point. So anyway, so Gabriel, I love like this whole self-inquiry thing, because I think that a lot of times we're kind of going through life and we don't stop to like really go with that deeply within. And so there's so much happening in the world, there's so much happening in our realities, there's so much happening in our day-to-day that, it's really hard to stop and like do that deep internal reflection, you know. So I love that you said that. Now, is this something that we could maybe journal or like write down and just like sort of get it out on paper and look and review it? Or is it something that we should sort of sit with and do internally?
Some people, that's a beautiful question. I find that some people, also, by the way, I'm always open to questions. I love that you open that to your audience, because sometimes it can feel like it's just us talking here, but we're here for them. And any questions
Yes.
that might come up, I live for answering questions to the best of my ability. So thank you for refreshing people and inciting them to do it, because just a little parenthesis here. Over time, I have found that the best way to help and show people this way is through dialogues, conversation, and questions. So, yeah. Oh, I had a little blackout there.
You
I'm still
good?
with you, right, Kia? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
I don't know what that was. I thought my power went up.
Oh my God.
Uh,
We're live that you don't even know half of the things that happen when I'm live. It always happens when
I
I'm
can
live.
imagine.
But live is live, right? So you roll with it. The show must go on. So I didn't
Yeah.
notice anything. So all good. And yeah, I do love to tell people to ask questions because my audience is shy. You can put questions in the comments, even if you're watching the replay. And I check my comments and stuff so I can get you answers. But I love my comments. I love the questions, and I'm here for all of that. I answer as many questions and comments myself in the comments of people who watch it later. So don't be shy. Let me know you're here. So as you were,
Yeah.
Gabriel, is this something can we just do this written? Do
Yeah.
we discuss this? Should we do this with a partner? Like, how is the best way to do this self inquiry, or what are there multiple ways that we can achieve this?
Yeah, it's a beautiful question because there is no ideal way of doing it.
Mhm.
I find that what we decide to do from that question is helpful for our particular desires and the way our mind works. For example, when you say journaling, a lot of people do this. And what you would see, and I encourage people to do this, is the creative impulse, which is something that we haven't spoken much about, but the spontaneous being that arises from this understanding, which is kind of makes sense if you look at the ego as some voice that is always telling you what to do, how to feel, how to behave, right? How to react, and so on. What do you think can happen if this voice becomes simply background noise, right? And eventually just sort of dissipates? Are you going to stay in a catatonic state and a trance? You may. But when you are in reality, something else is going to inform you how to behave, how to react, and everything else. This is where we find the spontaneous being that I'm talking about. And this spontaneous being is at peace with itself, happy in its relationships outside, with love and creative. So that's the key thing when it comes to journaling. You will see that what comes out of this is creative. It's your own creative impulse. So I would definitely encourage that for people who are going through this, because insights are going to come constantly. So journaling is a great idea, recording themselves, anything that will incentivize this creative impulse, because like I said, it's inevitable. Your mind doesn't stay blank. It's filled with that which is more powerful within you than an echo, because the ego is simply an echo. It's always memory, and we pay too much attention to it. That's why we give it so much reality, right? But the moment you start not paying attention and like rejecting it, but actually seeing it for what it is, simply voices, right? And you know that what they're telling you, it's not very congruent with how you want to feel. I feel unworthy. It makes me feel like I lack. It makes me feel like I should be angry about this or sad and all this. That's the moment you realize, like, oh, this is not informing me well. The more we let this go, allowing it to be simply, then the more this creative impulse is going to come. Now, in terms of discussing it with somebody else, I find that that's a blessing. If you have somebody who you can talk to and share this path, that is a blessing, particularly if it's somebody near, very dear to you, a friend, your partner, siblings, or I've found even mother and daughter relationship that are amazing. Like people just have these connections. So everything's open. The one thing that is unavoidable is, yes, self-inquiry is what should be established, and you don't need that much time, Kia. We just need, I encourage everybody, because one of the excuses that we listen from our mind is, oh, I didn't have enough time today. I don't have time to meditate. I have problems. So I say, okay, let's eliminate this excuse for time. Do it 5 minutes every day. There's nobody who can say, I didn't have 5 minutes today. We can see the lie to expose there and say, I have 5 minutes. I really do. So take those 5 minutes and sync with that. Actually put an alarm. Don't try to do more. That's it. Get up. And I want people to crave